Because here's the truth. You don't meet people like that every day. The ones who don't just say the right thing, but do the right thing. The ones who lead with strength, not ego. The ones who lift you up with a simple act of humanity. And when you do meet them, you never forget how they made you feel. Welcome to At What Point, the podcast where we dive into the real, raw, and rewarding journey of personal and professional growth. I'm Catherine, your host, here to guide you through mindset shifts, powerful aha moments, and the resilience it takes to thrive no matter what life throws your way. Whether you're climbing the corporate ladder, taking the leap into entrepreneurship, or just looking for that boost of motivation, you are in the right place. Let's dive in. Have you ever felt that you were bending over backwards just to keep the peace? Smiling through discomfort, saying yes when every part of you wanted to say no, maybe biting your tongue just to avoid making things awkward? Yeah, I've been there too. And if that's you right now, I want to share something I read that really made me pause. Being nice is about avoiding conflict, but being good is about doing what's right even when it's hard. And I thought, wow, that's it. That's the shift we don't talk about enough. Because for so long, many of us have been raised to believe that being nice is the ultimate virtue. Say the right thing. Smile even when you are uncomfortable. Keep your opinion soft, your presence small, and your needs last. We have been conditioned to prioritize other people's comfort over our own boundaries, to smooth things over instead of speaking up, to avoid conflict even when silence costs us a part of ourselves. And at first, it feels easier, less messy, more likable. But being grounded in who you are, that's a different story. Being good means you don't bend just to be accepted. It's not about being agreeable. It's about being aligned. It's honoring your truth even when it's unpopular. It's standing in your values when no one's watching, when there is no reward, no applause. It's choosing to do what's right instead of what's easy. And that kind of a strength, it's quiet. It doesn't scream for attention, but you feel it when someone's walking to a room. It's the kind of presence that makes an impact, not because they are the loudest, but because they are the most grounded. Let me tell you a story I have never forgotten. When I moved to Tampa, Florida, I was invited to a professional networking event. I was excited, a little nervous, just eager to connect. I show up early with my best smile and the most positive attitude. That's just who I am. But when I walk in and say hello, no one looked up. No one say hi. I smiled, made a small talk, even laughed politely at their conversation. But it was like I was invisible. The woman across from me raised an eyebrow and kept chatting like I wasn't even there. I tried again and again to join in, and again, I was ignored. I sat there for 20 minutes in silence. It felt like an hour. My heart sank. I was trying so hard to be nice, to be approachable, but I was sitting in a room full of people who had no interest in connection. Then someone new walked in. She arrived late, sat down, looked around the table, and smiled. Her name was Mary Beth. And in the warmest voice, she says, "Hi, I'm so glad that you're here." She made eye contact with me, welcomed me into the conversation like I matter. She was not trying to impress anyone. She was just kind. And I never forgot that moment. I never forgot her. Because here's the truth. You don't meet people like that every day. The ones who don't just say the right thing, but do the right thing. The ones who lead with strength, not ego. The ones who lift you up with a simple act of humanity. And when you do meet them, You never forget how they made you feel. That moment taught me something I still carry with me today. Being good has nothing to do with how loud you are, how polished you sound, or how many people like you. It's about how you show up when no one's watching. It's about being rooted in who you are so deeply that you don't need to perform for acceptance. Here's the truth. Mary Beth didn't know me. She didn't know me anything, but she saw me and she chose to be kind anyways. She chose to be good. And that one moment changed the whole energy in the room, not just for me, but for everyone. And that's the kind of impact goodness has: quiet, steady, transformational. Being good means walking away from the fake peace that comes with pretending everything's okay when it's not. It means choosing to listen to that voice inside of you, the one that whispers, "This doesn't feel right," and honor it, even if it means disappointing someone else. It's being okay with not being for everyone because you're finally being true to yourself. Being good is bold. It's not about people pleasing. It's about living in alignment. It's about building a life that actually feels like yours. No one curated to meet everyone else's expectation. And yes, that might mean having hard conversations. That might mean saying no when you are used to saying yes. But that kind of a strength, it changes everything. And if you are stuck in that cycle of people pleasing right now, I see you. I know how it feels to silence yourself to avoid conflict, to be the nice one, even when you are exhausted, even when your gut is screaming for something more. But let me ask you something. At what point do you decide that being true to yourself matters more than getting a gold star from everyone else? At what point do you stop shrinking yourself just to make others feel comfortable? Because you were not made to play small. You were not meant to go along just to get along. You were made to live a life that feels right to you, one that aligns with your values, your voice, and your heart. You were made to show up honestly, to stand up for what matters, to walk into a room and know that you don't need to prove anything to belong because you already do, just as you are. And I know that's not always easy. I know it takes courage to say no when yes will keep the peace. I know it takes a strength to walk away when staying will be easier. But that's what it means to live a life that's yours, not one that was molded by fear or shaped by other people's expectations. If no one has told you lately, you don't have to please everyone. You don't have to be the nicest one in the room. What matters most is being someone you're proud of. That's the kind of person people remember, the kind of present that stays with you, the kind of person who builds a life with purpose, with strength, with heart. And friend, that kind of life, that kind of legacy, that's worth everything. You got this. Thanks for joining another episode of At What Point. I hope today's conversation sparked some inspiration for your journey of growth and transformation. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to visit katherinebeltran.com/podcast for show notes, special discounts on coaching packages, and freebies to help you keep moving forward. And last but not least, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a show. See you next time.